How many here believe that we should have more gun control regulations in our country? Over the past years, there have been an increased amount of mass shootings here in the United States. This, of course, includes the Sandy Hook, Connecticut shooting, the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting, as well as the Parkland High School shooting that also happened here in Florida, and the Las Vegas concert shooting in Nevada. Now, some people believe that removing the Second Amendment would decrease the amount of violent crimes altogether. However, at the end of my speech, I hope to convince all of you that the Second Amendment can and has the ability to save lives. Now, disarming citizens to protect themselves can lead them to be vulnerable from any attacker. So, for instance, if a person is breaking into your house, for example, and you don't really have any firearm, how would you be able to protect yourself from that intruder? Now, of course, there is also a problem with the opposite coin, where if you can give every single person a firearm, that gives more of a chance for unsounded and more criminally insane people to commit violent crimes. Now, my solution, of course, is to allow people to purchase firearms if they deserve it, meaning that if they are well-sounded people and they are going through a very tough process in order to purchase a gun, then they are more responsible and more likely to use that gun for protecting themselves and their family. And also, with these regulations, it can also filter out any other person who will be willing to use a firearm to commit any heinous and violent crime. Now, according to a 2016 FBI criminal statistics, 276 cases where criminals were justly discharged by private citizens, and that may not seem a whole lot, but that's 276 people who defended themselves and protected themselves from an intruder. Now, according to Scott Newman, an NRA instructor by the name of Stephen Wilford was able to take down the Texas church shooter by converting the shooter and shooting him using his own private AR-15. And even though that the damage was already done from the shooter himself, from killing an enormous amount of people at the Baptist church, Stephen Wilford was able to prevent that shooter from taking out more people in his rampage. Now, according to Wimberly Patent, during this past October, a trucker at a 7-Eleven gas station in Miami, Florida, was able to defend himself from an attacker using his own gun. As well as, according to author Patrick Cray, an 82-year-old woman was able to defend herself as well using her 38 special gun by shooting an intruder entering her house illegally. Now, imagine the amount of lives that we can save if we can regulate guns and give innocent people the means to protect themselves and to protect the ones that they care about the most. If you were being attacked by an assailant and you had the possession of a firearm, would you be able to take that assailant down using your own hands in order to protect you or the people that you care about around you? And if you didn't have a gun, how would you be able to defend yourself from that attacker at a long distance range? At the end of our speech, I hope I encourage all of you to keep an open mind when it comes to owning firearms, and I hope I also convinced all of you to understand both sides of the coin in the issue of having a Second Amendment, but also having a compromise to the issue as well. This is Nicholas Catalfamo, and I hope all of you have a good night.